Porinju Veliyath is now joining us, a veteran investor. Porinju, how are things looking? How are you digesting? Your smile on your face is still there. Do you think they'll make
Good
it?
afternoon.
You've been a big votary of the current political leadership. You think they'll scrape through and make it confidently?
Yeah, I have been highly appreciative about the current regime and, especially the last 10 years, what they have been doing for the nation. For a long-term, economic growth and a trend setting, I think they have done a wonderful work and a great platform. Now, of course, I think mostly in the market, people are expecting 320, 330 kind of a seat. Some of them are expecting 300 seats around. But the exit polls gave something differently. That's why market reacted differently yesterday. So it gave a lot more hope. But now things are coming, to reality. I strongly believe BJP, the NDA will form the government. And that's always good. There may be allies, partners, and a coalition kind of thing can happen, which is not very good. But these kind of things, it affects the initial sentiments. But again, stock market will come back to the that basics, which is earnings and valuation of individual companies and businesses. So that way, I think investors can still bet on India, look for the long-term, prospects of the economy and the sectors and the companies. And it's still an amazing market in the world, an opportunity to invest in. Everyone in the market on your channel, including me, we were all talking, it's a rich valuation. There is growth in the many sectors, and there's euphoria in some companies and the PSUs and some other select sectors. So a correction was due. We all were discussing in the last many months. We can just feel, now it has come, whatever is the reason. So that correction is happening, and I think it will be a healthy correction. The froth will go away. Again, investors should start looking at, value stocks, and with a long-term perspective. India is offering a fantastic opportunity. There is no doubt. Doesn't mean that you should rush to buy today and tomorrow. You will have comfortable time in the coming weeks and months to invest and build up your portfolio and charge it up.
Porinju, what you're saying is that it's going to be a bit sideways and there's going to be consolidation, at least for the immediate term. And does that mean that those all-time high levels and the things about 25,000 Nifty, all of that gets pushed back, perhaps in 2025 only now?
It can happen in 2024. It can, whatever high you saw yesterday, I believe you will see index above that level in 2024.
So that's a high conviction call coming in that we have not made the peak of the year as yet. There's much more to go, and 25,000 is also possible in 2024 itself. But you talked about that the valuation will take a bit of a reset and there is opportunity available. If one starts to, one needs to start to deploy the money, where, which sectors and which segments would you buy first as far as the market goes?
Okay. I think most people are already invested in fully. So, to start investing and also it is relevant to only very few people, some fund managers. I feel, again, PSUs, if it gives a good correction, we should start looking at some of those stocks, especially in the oil and gas sector I was talking the other day. So there are pockets of opportunities with very reasonable and attractive valuations. This fall happening is making it more and more attractive. So, but at the same time, I will tell you, if you take 1 year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, the kind of valuation attraction across the board, that is not available today. It will not be in the future also. We are at a rich valuation because of a faster growing economy than most other economies in the world. And, a political leadership and stable politics, which at this point of time, some people started doubting. But I strongly believe, the voters this time might have got attracted, a lot of them, because of the perhaps kind of irresponsible doles offered by the alliance, which, if somebody say, every month we are giving you 8,500 rupees, you need not do any job. Go on looking at Instagram and Facebook. So why should somebody, there are a lot of people in that category. Why should he not vote for that kind of a regime? So that's a danger for the India in the long term. But I hope people will realize the dangers of irresponsible dolls. And I am very confident India ultimately as a whole will reject that kind of unhealthy economic pattern.
Porinju, you've always been a great stock picker and you've always believed that India is a stock-specific story. Not today, not tomorrow, but where is it that you think one could deploy fresh money to work whenever the dust settles down?
To be frank, I do not have any particular segment other than what I told. The oil and gas sector among the PSUs, they have not taken part in a big way, or they haven't gone into euphoria yet. So they are correcting today and maybe some more time. So that is one sector, and there are very good companies, large companies, lakhs of crores market cap, 50,000 crores, 1 lakh crores, and we have ONGC at 3.5 lakh crores. So that could be a sector which is going to do well, provided this government continues and they are well managed. That's also very important. I'm not telling the other side, everybody is bad, they don't manage Indian companies well. Not that way. When it's a coalition of too many, not similar thinking parties, everyone knows it's not good for the nation, especially with regard to the economic growth, and within that, with in the long term trajectory of the economic growth. That's always a challenge. But we are not going to face such a challenge in the near future. So I strongly feel investors should not panic and wait for the real results. I personally believe NDA will manage to form the government, and it may not be a very strong government like earlier. So there cannot be, they have to compromise on some of the out of the box, very big reforms if they have in mind. There can be challenges in those regards. Otherwise, India is going to shine, continue to shine, and our economy is going to grow in a superlative manner. So Indian equity investors will have good times. But this kind of sharp corrections, it's nothing but an opportunity.
This is not a major trend reversal, right? Because there is a small section of the market who believe that there is a major trend reversal under play. There is risk that the current leadership, if they make it with alliances, they will still be forced to become slightly more towards the rural side, doing measures towards the rural side of the economy, become slightly populist. So the focus on capex and capital creation infra may get diluted. Is there a legitimate fear in your view?
Fear, I agree with you to some extent, Rajay. That's what I told. There could be some difference in policy making with regard to the big ticket reforms, if they have in mind whatever we have been discussing about. Here, there will be a sober attitude, and this is also a wake-up call to BJP, to the leadership, and even to our investors, fund managers, and analysts. It's a wake-up call. We have to be alert. We have to be more conservative. Cannot take everything for granted.
Okay, so that's the latest coming in as far as India is concerned and the political mandate that we have at our hands. But it's really a bit topsy-turvy right now, Porinju, because the leads for BJP seem to be a bit constricted right now to that 240 mark. And as people believe there could be some permutation combinations at play as well, though NDA is still leading on around 294 seats. But I remember having this conversation earlier when you were saying that India is just perhaps, the way China was growing, India is perhaps just a few years behind China. Do you think that entire thesis goes for a bit of a toss? Do we get delayed in that story as well, given the fact there's a bit of an uncertainty right now?
Yeah, that can be. This what is happening today could lead to some kind of uncertainties, delays in some of the reforms and process for India. That is definitely is a negative. But to what extent investors should be worrying about it in general, it's another question. We have seen many such things happening in our economy, in our market in the last decades. Political leadership changing. Ultimately after the election, after a week or two, things come back to normal. India is India. don't worry about much. We will continue to be democracy. Actually, what's happening today, it's showing that strength of democracies, and democracy is very strong. EMs are working, and we are one of the best nations in the world, not only economically and politically.
You coming in, Porinju. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us today. It's a fairly volatile day, but good to be chatting with you on such a day.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.